Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified Doctor of Naturopathy, Dr. Stephen Cabral, shares with you exactly how you can reverse aging, take back your health, and live a life full of energy and passion, with new 20-minute episodes every single day to keep you healthy and engaged. Now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, so good to have you here to start the week on the Cabral Concept. This is our Mindset and Motivation Monday, episode 2810 of the show. Fun topic here today. Love being able to try to bring you new angles around mindset, motivation, and basically overall life mastery. So I was listening to this amazing talk by Bo So, former debater, Harvard University professional debate coach, and he goes over this framework, and it's an amazing framework that you can use with your colleagues or on social media or your friends or your family. I'm going to give you different scenarios here today. But a lot of times there's a lot of disagreements going on in the world, right? There's disagreements about politics, there's disagreements about religion, there's disagreements, at least in my field, about the right diet for each individual, the right exercise program, the right supplements, the right everything, right? So everybody has an opinion, and there's always some type of back and forth. Sometimes it's done cordially, sometimes not. Well, Boso had a great framework, and it's called the RISA framework. And this is exactly how it works. RISA are the four letters you want to remember. And within those four letters, it stands for, and I'm going to go through them right now, a specific sequence that you want to go through with another individual before you waste your time, energy, or frustration of just spinning your wheels. Because we've all been there before, right? You want to have a nice conversation with someone about a specific topic that you might want to get to the bottom of. You have your side, they have theirs. And you enter into the debate thinking that the other person's going to keep an open mind, and that you're going to have this great dialogue. Well, we know that once you start to bring certain things up in a conversation, if they don't like where things are turning, they might result to a dirty debate, right? They might start to call you names or start to denigrate you at a certain level. You know, I always love that saying, you know, first they try to demean, or first they laugh at you, then they try to slander you, and then finally, right, then it's accepted. That's the truth, essentially. The truth is laughed at, it's demeaned, they demean the individual who's speaking the truth. And then after widespread appeal, because people know the truth when they hear it, it's finally accepted. Well, with the debate, you don't have that time frame, right? If you really want to enter into an argument or a debate with someone, you want to have a framework. And so the RISA framework can be what you are looking for, or don't waste your time. That's literally how I look at it. All right, here we go. So you want to ask four things as you're entering into any dialogue. And dialogue's an even better word for it, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a debate. A debate, sometimes it's at least, I think, infers that there's a winner, right? So we don't always want to have that. Same with an argument. And an argument not only does it infer that there's a winner, but truthfully, that it's going to be argumentative, that it's going to be somewhat hostile, right? So I'd say argumentative is the worst phrase for it. Debate, okay, not bad, but usually you're looking for a winner. But a dialogue is something where there doesn't have to be a winner, but rather a sharing of ideas. And I absolutely love that. All right, so let's get into the RISA framework right now by Bo So. The R stands for real. So is the disagreement real? It's an amazing way to start. So when I first read this, it didn't make a lot of sense. It honestly didn't. Then when I watched the video and I heard him explain it, I said, oh, yes, this makes total sense now as to how it's framed. Because a lot of times, honestly, if someone is slandering another individual or talking negatively about them, they're actually not necessarily even trying to debate. There's no dialogue. They don't even want to have an argument back and forth. They just want to prop themselves up to feel better about themselves or feel they looked better in front of other individuals. It's complete ego. So there is no real debate. There's no real dialogue, because the person is not actually interested in entering into any type of discussion. So you have to ask yourself first, is this individual who is sharing a difference of opinion even looking to do so in a good faith-based dialogue. And a lot of the times, at least on social media, they're not. So if you believe in one political party, then they're just going to slander you and your thoughts or whatever it is, vice versa, both sides. If you're a particular religion, at least I think most people are just a little bit more open-minded, but not everybody, someone could still, though, say, I'm not going to listen to anything that this person has to say because they're of, X religion, like whatever it might be. And so we have to understand is that sometimes a person calling out words or sending out a disagreement has no real interest in actually what you have to say. So immediately, what is the point? This is what I think. What is the point of responding, right? The point of responding, in my opinion, if it's on social media, may just be so that there is some, at least, framework for what you believe that's out there in the world. However, the truth is, especially as you gain more and more followers on social media, and I know there's a lot of practitioners listening to this, you can't respond to every single comment. You can respond back the same day, but people can leave a comment on a post that you did a year ago, and you're never going to see that comment for the most part, right? So it's like you can't respond to everything, but if you feel it appropriate, at least lend your point of view on the post and then simply walk away. Because if a person's simply being belligerent and they just want to spew their hate or whatever it might be, as I like to say, it's literally none of your business. That's on them. That they're showing their true character. That's what I always say. If you come out and you are someone that is always looking to put another person down, that's more on you than it is on me or anybody else, right? Why would you do that? You can spend your time either speaking your truth or building people up rather than trying to break others down so you can stand necessarily on top of them, right? It's just two ways of looking at the world. And there's a lot of people out there who are making their social media influencer videos about them literally just talking negatively about other people. It's one of the strangest things that I've ever seen, but that is how they're choosing to live their life. Not a very happy life, I wouldn't assume, but that is how they're choosing to do it. All right, so that is R. The R is real. Is this dialogue even real? Is there a real debate here? And oftentimes there isn't. But if there is, now we can move on to the next topic, and that's I, for important. Is it important enough to justify the disagreement that you're having or the debate that might take place? So, when you are talking online or with friends or with family, is it important enough to you or them or a topic at large to even discuss? Sometimes you'll be chatting with a friend and you'll be talking about where to go to eat, and they'll have, strong feelings one way, and you don't really feel that way, to be honest with you. You feel another way, but you don't care enough to really get into a larger debate, right? That's just one instance. If someone feels really strongly and you don't feel it's that important, oftentimes, even in relationships, you're just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go with that. It's just not that important to me. So there's no reason to be a person that's always debating other people. But we know those people, right? We all know at least one of those people. It's not that they're bad people, but it's no matter what you say, they have a difference of opinion. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing if they're bringing up good points and giving you good things to think about. But when someone is just always disagreeing for literally the sake of disagreeing, it can be pretty annoying after a while. So it is my opinion, I don't know what Boso would say, but it's my opinion that you only engage in dialogue that has meaning to you. If not, there are much better ways to spend your time. All right, the third one is this. The S stands for specific. And specific means, is there something specific to discuss? Meaning, can progress be made in this debate on a specific topic? Because if it's wildly general, then all people do is talk in circles. And I brought this up many years ago in a podcast. So because I like to show both sides of the debate. I actually love debate. But very few people love debate to engage in dialogue. People like debate to hear themselves be heard and to speak their truth. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But that's not a debate. right? That's not a debate. That's you arguing your point, but there's another half, right? There's another side to that. So specific is this, and I gave this example a few years ago. There are people that believe in a plant-based diet, and there are people that believe in a, predominantly Mediterranean diet, but some meat, fish, etc. And it's a little bit different now because we have the carnivore diet and we've got keto-based diets and different types of diets, which are a little bit more to the extreme side, right? But at least 3 years ago or so, people said, yeah, we need to eat some fruits and vegetables. Some people, less fruit, more vegetables. Okay, well, we can agree on that. And then it's like, how much meat do we really need? Well, we definitely want to get some fish in the diet because fish has good omega-3s. Okay, yeah, we've got that. And then, maybe a handful of meat. So when I was going down to it at the end of the day, because I like to read a lot of books. I like to read, what's out there, what's popular, so I know what people are reading as well. And I said, these books are all pretty much talking about the same thing. Like when I look at a lot of people in true mainstream health, meaning like they don't have a marketing agenda for their specific brand or whatever it might be. They're just true practitioners who want to help people. And it looks like a predominantly plant-based diet, but then some add in like 6 ounces of meat or fish or whatever it might be per day. And so when I look at those and I say, what are we really debating or arguing over, right? Are we really debating over these two diets? Because, for out of your 28 meals, 21 meals per week, right? Let's say 3 a day, and there's 7 days a week. Out of those, and when we look at the preponderance of all the food that's eaten, okay, you're eating a handful of protein every single day. And that's really the difference between like those two diets. And so when I looked at this, like, why are we even having this radical debate? But if we are, well, then let's not make it about whether we believe fruits and vegetables are valuable. These two people clearly do. But when you look at a lot of the paleo diets, yeah, they believed in that, but they also believed in some fish or some meat. Okay, good. So now when we add that into the debate, let's not debate on plant-based versus not plant-based. Let's debate strictly on, should we include 6 ounces and pick around 4 to 8 ounces, pick whatever you want, right? It's basically, that should be more based on activity level, muscle tissue breakdown, weight, etc. But if we do that, like, let's have the debate specifically about not if we value a plant-based diet, but if we want to add in that 6 ounces of protein per day. And then one side could specifically debate about amino acids, et cetera, and the other could debate the same exact thing about amino acids, et cetera, and how they might be beneficial. And that would be a really interesting debate, right? But that's very specific because two people can debate about plant-based or not plant-based, and it goes all over the map because there's a lot of people eating a plant-based diet and they're eating all processed food. It's garbage, and they're eating all simple carbohydrates, and that doesn't count, and they're not eating enough protein. So again, like, you can get into it, but it's a whirlwind of debate, and there's nothing specific to actually talk on. So when you're having a debate, you want to state what the specific topic is, and we'll get to that right now. So the last part in the RISA framework is aligned. So the A stands for aligned. So are both parties aligned at keeping an open mind as to where they may be wrong, or at least open to see the other side's point of view? This is where most then dialogues are going to break down. So think about this. You go into this and you want to have a real dialogue with an individual. Like, it might be on a podcast. It's, this is useless over social media. I'll talk about that in a moment. Or a family member or a coworker. You can say to them, okay, here's what we seem to disagree on. And that's the real part. Like, here's the disagreement. Okay. You would already have checked off, is it important to you? Because if not, you say, you know what? Hey, let's just agree to disagree, or you're right. No, you don't have to argue about everything. And then specific, all right, this is what we're disagreeing on specifically. Is that correct? Because you want to make sure that it's specific. They might say, no, I'm not disagreeing on whether you should have 6 ounces of protein per day. And they might actually say, I actually don't think that there's anything wrong with a plant-based diet plus a little protein. I just choose not to eat any animal-based protein. There's a lot of people out there, not saying me, I'm saying other people. And so they may be good with that, right? Like, there might be no argument at all. Like, you're engaging in an argument which is just strictly personal for them and not about overall health. So you get specific. And then the last thing you have to ask is, are you keeping an open mind during this debate? Are you willing to keep an open mind during this debate? Is it possible that there would be another point of view that would be in conflict of yours that you'd be open to hearing? Is it possible that you could keep an open mind that you maybe that you may even be wrong if I do exactly the same. Would you be open to that? And if the person says yes, now you have an open dialogue. And you go into it in a much more gentler manner where you can actually come out of it friends as well. But most arguments, the people hate each other after they come out of it because they went into it trying to win. It was a battle instead of sharing knowledge with each other, right? And if you share knowledge, that's what it really should be about. If not, why spend your time knowing by the end of the 5 minutes, the 10 minutes, or the hour podcast that you're just going to feel heated and you're going to be in a state of fight or flight and nothing gets resolved anyways because it was just two people shouting at each other, and the people that believed X ahead of time are still going to believe that, and the people that believed Y still believe that, and nothing got solved. And those types of things are just, I think they are, in my opinion, just instances or lessons in futility. That's it. Like they're meaningless and a waste of people's time because nothing was solved from it. Whereas if you can debate a family member or have a dialogue with a family member or a coworker and you go into it saying, it seems like you're saying this. Is that correct? Interesting. I believe this. Here's the specifics of what I believe. This seems to be what you believe. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Are you interested in talking more about this? I would love to hear your side of your point of view. I'd like to be able to share mine. Are you open to that? Can you keep an open mind so that we can leave this debate actually feeling good? And if they can say yes, those are amazing conversations. They are literally amazing. Here's the only reason that they don't end up working out, even if you go through the RISA framework. Someone feels attacked, or their ego gets in the way, and they understand that the point they had is actually incorrect. That the person on the other side is showing them the flaws in their argument. Now, the individuals who can actually say, you know what? That's a great point. I never thought of that. That's going to force me to rethink some of my assumptions. I appreciate you bringing that up. I'm going to give that more thought. The person that can do that, they are reaching that next level in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So when you look at that, as you move through the 5 levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you reach more to a state of enlightenment where you care much more about the truth than you do about being right. I can link up Maslow's hierarchy of needs at stephencabral.com/2810, along with the RISA framework if you want to go deeper, and one of Bo So's videos. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning into today's show. I hope this was helpful. And of course, do feel free to share this with anyone you believe it could serve. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my health results accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.